Phasmophobia, a game to play with your friends. Hi, do you have friends? Do those friends have 20 bucks to spare? Are they frequent enjoyers of legendary, record-breaking horror media like Five Nights at Freddy's? Then Phasmophobia is probably the game for you. A house inspection game with elements of ectoplasm cleaning and larceny, it pits you and your three scoliosis-afflicted allies against an AI with the collective intelligence of a parrot. Think that sounds easy? It's not. Parrots are assholes. Let me walk you through the basics of what you need to know in order to be a successful schizophrenic house inspector. Once you and your fellow special needs plumbers load into the back of your CCP surveillance vehicle, you're going to need to equip yourself with some of the best tools eBay, Walmart, and Amazon have to offer. Going by layers of importance, the flashlight is probably the most important tool you'll pick up, and it's unlikely that you, a complete moron who hasn't even memorized the layout of every single map by level 2, will ever be dropping. Without it, you are essentially a blind rat in a maze, except there's no cheese. There's a bone, and it'll rip you off on your paycheck unless you take a picture of it before you pick it up. Aside from the flashlight, there's the EMF reader, which is actually sold not only to schizophrenic ghost hunters in real life, but to anti-vax mothers who don't want the 5G super plague infesting their Candy Crush accounts. In this game, it actually works, so buy and bring two with you, because your chimpanzee teammates are definitely gonna lose the other one. To use it is actually pretty simple. Turn it on, stare at the rainbow, and walk around screaming the ghost's name until it eventually goes higher than a 1. Ghost-like activity can vary wildly, from mugs being thrown off of the table to sinks spewing out perfectly normal, drinkable water from the wonderful town of Flint, Michigan. You might be tempted to think, Crane, the EMF reader was above 1. That must mean the ghost's here. You're wrong. That means it's close. I've had games where the EMF reader spiked when I walked through the door, only to find the ghost's room in the fucking basement. But that's enough about the 5G detector. It's intuitive enough that anyone with an IQ higher than 3 should be able to use it. All you need to know for sure is that if the detector reaches 5, you should probably start running away, and writing that as evidence in your notebook once you're sufficiently far enough from the ghost's room. The thermometer, or COVID detector, is used to detect the temperature. Ghosts are a lot of things: see-through, coming out at Halloween, made of sheets and blankets, but more importantly, they're cold. They actively make the room they are in cold. Sometimes they make it really cold. When it drops below negative, that's a piece of evidence. Write it down in your book, unless you want to look like a whack-ass in front of your lordosis afflicted friends. It's a good way to find the ghost's room too, because they usually stay in that room or around that area, thus lowering the temperature of the general area entirely. If that doesn't really make sense to you, I'm honestly surprised you made it this far into the video without attempting to eat the phone it's watched on. The next best piece of equipment, and the one I'm pretty sure everybody starts with, is a camera. The camera is probably the most important tool in the game, and it's a very limited resource. Which means your friends will probably use all 5 pictures on the game's skybox or zoomed in really close to your face, which you won't be able to see because your own in-game model is invisible and photos are client-side. Yep, to you, it looks like he took a picture of nothing and he's laughing his ass off about it. But if you do manage to save any pictures on the camera, use it to take pictures of the various spooky entities, dirty sinks, fingerprints, voodoo dolls, bones, Ouija boards, and most importantly, ugly family photos that you can find. Oh, and also try to take a picture of the ghost. Trying to get a picture of the ghost, if you can, is hard, but once you've figured out how easy this game can actually be, extra objectives like this make it really fun and makes it last a lot longer.
Keep it up, Ralph.
Next item, the video camera and its tripod. This can be used for an evidence all on its own. These little eye floaters, except they're not eye floaters, they're ghost evidence that they exist and that you didn't spend $5,000 on Walmart brand surveillance equipment and are not experiencing extreme dementia-inducing buyer's remorse. Drop the $2,000 camcorder in the ghost's room, make sure it's got a wide view, and leave. And finally, that leaves us the last 2 evidence gathering tools. The UV flashlight for spotting wayward cum stains and ghost fingerprints, and the Toys R Us My First radio that we use to talk to the ghost. These are pretty self-explanatory. If you saw a ghost open a door, shine the UV around the entire door and look for some sort of fingerprint. They can also put fingerprints on windows, so check those occasionally. There's not much else to it, aside from the fact that you can also find footprints this way if your friend happened to spill salt all over the ghost's room.
Oh wait, she's going into the bathroom.
The radio, or ghost box, a clever rebrand to sell cheap equipment for a markup in real life, works quite well in-game. Find the ghost room and try talking to it. You can ask it such questions as, "Are you cute?" That wasn't an answer, that's just scary! Where are you?
Where's the other book? Wait, Crane,
Can you-
quick, where's-
Oh no!
How old are you?
21?
Jesus Christ.
Are you legal? Oh,
Yo, you fucked up, Reed.
Run, basement. Questions that would probably get me blocked by people in real life. Or worse, put on a watch list. Turns out I can't actually edit myself onto a watch list, especially not the FBI's top 10 most wanted, because that'll actually land me in prison. So, here's a picture of me. However, the ghost will respond to your questions because they're very lonely. But if for some reason they're not responding, tell your fellow house inspectors to either evacuate the room so you can have some one-on-one time with the ghost, or come in because they won't respond to you when you're one-on-one. They either respond to groups of people or to just you. It's a 50-50 really on whether or not it'll work. That covers most of the evidence gathering tools. There's other things, likely more important tools for your survival, but I hate you and I want you to suffer like I did, so I'm not going to tell you shit. Instead, I want you to get your ass murdered while holding a crucifix that you falsely hope will save you from the ghost's incredible desire to plunge its fingers into your corneas, because that's part of the fun. Not like this, my corneas!
we're going though for a second.
Crane? What happened to Crane's corneas?
He's fine. He's fine.
I was not, in fact, fine. I was very, very dead. Part 2, gameplay. It sucks. The AI is trash. But it's also some of the most fun multiplayer horror I've ever actually played. Like I said earlier, it all kind of depends on the parrot AI built intuitively into the game. Sometimes you can get ghosts like Daniel Smith, who literally wouldn't hunt us no matter how many times we said his name and turned off his favorite piss sink. Other times, you've got ghosts that will hunt you the second you step in the door, rip your friends' hearts out in front of you, and sing Ring Around the Rosie, a song about the bubonic plague, cleverly rebranded as a kid's lullaby, while it crab walks directly towards your retarded friend who is running straight at the ghost. That's a good thing for you. If he dies, that means you live. Until it hunts again. Then you'd better hide. Hiding. It's hard. It was a lot easier back when the game first came out. All I had to do was lock myself in a closet in full view of the ghost while it was hunting me, and the closet's vibranium super seal anti-ghost flaps would propel the ghost away from me at 300 miles per hour. That doesn't work anymore. If you try that shit, it'll eat your eyeballs and leave your corpse in a silly position for your friends to take pictures of and sell the live leak for $5. A good thing to think about when wondering whether you need to hide or run is general proximity to the ghost. Did the hunt start while you were in the ghost's room? Run. Run for your fucking life, and run a lot faster than your friends, or else you're gonna die. Close as many doors between you and the ghost as possible, because ghosts are definitely impeded by physical blockades. Find a nice, dark corner to hide in while you play Clash Royale until the hunt's over. Except, make sure your shit's on mute, because the ghost can hear you. That's right, even if you're using push-to-talk in the game's settings, the ghost can and will hear you. Your mic is always live, even if it's disabled. Depending on your levels of schizophrenia, it can hear you from almost anywhere, including on the opposite side of the high school, which is one of the biggest maps in the game. Same goes for electronic equipment in-game. Stuff like the EMF reader, the radio, and other noise-making devices will be heard by the ghost, and it will draw the ghost to you. So shut the fuck up, turn your stuff off, or die, like the chimpanzee you are. If you were far from the ghost's room, you're probably fine. Find a corner, or if you're lucky, find a legendary rank hiding spot, like a closet or a locker, and shove yourself in there instead, for an additional layer of virginity protection. Now that you know how to survive the ghost, how the fuck do you even find it? Well, the thermometer and 5G detector are great starts, but they suck. Find a Ouija board instead. There are maps online of every Phasmophobia stage with all potential spawns. Cut out the middleman. Just ask the ghost where it is, and it'll tell you. Oh, but watch out for how much that costs you in sanity. Unless it doesn't take any of your sanity, if that happens, it's a demon. And if you don't leave immediately after, you will have 0 sanity, because you will be dead. Now, maps. There's generally 3 different tiers of map you can play on. Small, medium, and large. Large is an understatement, by the way. Small is small, a manageable Dr. Pepper for the thinking man. Medium is a Baja Blast. Manageable, but with lots of fun packed inside. Varying power switches, ghost rooms, hiding spaces, etc. Large is the triple gulp Slurpee Deluxe, filled with NyQuil, vinegar, and fucking battery acid. That shit will fuck you up, and you'll have to start using weirdo tools like this thing, and whatever the fuck this iNook piece of shit is. Neither of these things will ever work, because your retarded friends won't stop making monkey noises at it, throwing off any use it could have possibly had. Just because your friends are retarded, that doesn't mean you get the chance to play solo. The people who actually play solo are more dead inside than the AI they're playing against. They're terrifying, honestly. All in all, I'd give this game a friends out of 10. Do you have friends? Play it. It's a lot of fun, especially this time of year with all the gang stalkers pretending to be children knocking on my door walking around. It really heightens the holiday mood.
Oh, the other hunt got stopped. Where's the other Jesus, by the way? We only have...
If you're not sold on the game yet, there's a couple highlight reels on this channel you can watch if you want a feel for how this game usually plays with morons. Aside from Toasty, who actually knows how to play this game, arguably, better than I do. And if all those videos aren't enough, by the time this video goes live, there will be an entire new map to play on, 2 new ghosts, and a bit more content overall. This game gets regular updates, and is well worth a purchase, even a year later. It's a lot of fun with friends. I've read the entire map takes place outside too. That's terrifying to think about. The woods are already scary enough with all the fucking skinwalkers. Putting ghosts out there too will only make things worse.
We're not gonna be able to, like, turn on the temperature.
Make sure you subscribe for my next video, where I review... What? Clash Royale?